Yes, my friends, you are reading that correctly. Welcome back to another episode of Min-Maxing for Fun and Profit. Today, Adam from the package, Adam who's played in a lot of one-shots, Adam who I met in person in our only official in-person game, requests we do one more Legacy Pathfinder video optimizing around the snapping turtle style feats. If you guys are liking what you're seeing, remember to hit that like and subscribe button. If you have requests, in the comments is where they go. And Pathfinder 1st Edition or 2nd Edition, your request, if you are a patron, jumps to the front of the line. Hey, you know, today, this episode was brought to you in part by the man who requested it, Dragon9 Hyde, who actually will be a featured player in our playthrough of Wrath of the Righteous. That's right, we're breaking out the mythic for our bi-weekly patrons. And hey, if a bi-weekly game might be something that you'd be interested in, I'm more than happy to take all comers. Patreon is in the description. Now let's hit it. Alrighty, so really, mechanically, this is going to look a lot similar to our druid optimization video where we're wild shaping into a squid and throat slicing people. If you missed that one, follow this card right up here. Truthfully, there's definitely a bit of a marriage between this video and that video, probably to build a more perfect character. With the druid, however, I just wanted to go a different route with it. Again, this character is all about maximizing around the throat slicer feat versus a pinned opponent, and we'll try to get him to pinned as fast as possible. Straight down to it, we're building this one on a Trox. Now, at 28 RP, the Trox is a pretty powerful race. No argument from me. At 28 RP, a lot of games may not necessarily allow the Trox to come in. If your GM has a problem with this, I recommend you drop the Burrow trait and the Frenzy trait, dropping us 5 points down to 22. Even if you really need to push it, drop Dark Vision. Go down to a total of 20, much more reasonable in a lot of games, but there's one and only one reason we're playing a Trox today, and it's not grabbing appendages. Grabbing appendages is sweet, but we will get improved grapple as a bonus feat anyway. No, we're here for that huge after everything, plus 8 bonus to strength and our large size. I really, when I first was putting this video together, imagined building a tiny character who could grapple anything, break necks, go nuts, but being a bigger size category gives us a bonus to our CMB, and being smaller gives us a neg. We don't want that. That's bad for us. So we must be very strong, we must be very big. Wisdom and Charisma will be good as well, and don't ignore your dex because we will need some AC for this one. Now our class. Of course, we will take 2 Paladin levels, as always. Smite Evil is too good to not. Divine Grace is too good to not. Adding your Charisma to all your saves can save your life. And remember, CMBs are attack rolls. Adding our Charisma to our CMB, essentially, is not a bad way to, grab things that are much bigger than we are. Our armor class matters in this build as well. So getting a bigger deflection bonus than our Ring of Protection, also super good. But the main class we're playing today is a monk archetype. Pathfinder 1st Edition veterans have probably already guessed it. Today we're building around the Tetori monk for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, though it doesn't matter to us as much, the Tetori does get improved and greater grapple as bonus feats. Yeah, it's a little bit redundant given our race, but the greater grapple for free is nice. And there's a lot of other shenanigans that you get with feats with this guy. We aren't talking about them because none of them are as efficient as coup de grace. But the real shiny thing is Graceful Grappler. At 4th level, the Tetori suffers no penalties on attack rolls. The Tetori can make attacks of opportunity while grappling. A Tetori retains his dex when pinning. At 8th level, the Tetori gains the Grab special attack, which is a +4 on your CMB, not unlike how the squid should have had. The squid has +4 in that video, and I put that in the comments. Anywho, as long as he's using unarmed strikes, he can use this ability against creatures his own size or smaller by spending 1 point from the key pool, or against larger creatures by spending 2 points from his key pool. Constrict at 15th is nice, but we don't need it. The point here is he can use the Grab special attack against larger creatures. 2 points from the key pool, and there you go. Grappling colossal creatures eventually will be huge with a permanent enlarge person, because we're a monstrous humanoid. It works. But wait, there's more. At 9th level, with Inescapable Grasp, a Tetori can spend 1 point from his key pool to suppress his opponent's freedom of movement and bonuses to Escape Artist or on checks to escape a grapple that are magical. This is a Dimensional Anchor at 13th. This is Ghost Touch at 17th. Strike an incorporeal creature, and it's Reflex 10 plus half your level plus your Wisdom, or you just grabbed a ghost. Yeah. The Tetori beats a lot of things that most grapplers succumb to. Does that make him better than the Druid we built 2 weeks ago? Not necessarily, because the Druid is still a full caster, and with Wild Shape, much more versatile, but again, normally, Scissors cuts paper. In this case, Scissors tries to cut paper, paper wraps around Scissors, pins Scissors, and then cuts Scissors' throat with a paper cut. Yeah, no, it's really good. And hey, if you end up fighting that same Druid at 13th level, a Tetori can negate a polymorph effect by touch. It's a DC 11 plus the caster level of the effect on a Wisdom check, or hit dice if it's a supernatural thing. It's a standard action requiring 2 key points, or an immediate action if you're holding the person and they try to shake you off. Oh, getting too big? No, stop it. Will that see a lot of play in most games? Can't say for sure, but I can say it's pretty sweet. Now let's talk about some feats. Again, we're grabbing Improved Grapple at 1st level for free. It's a +2 on grapple checks, and we no longer provoke. Already had it as a Trox, but hey, you know what? Why not? Maybe someone will cut our little middle arms off. I don't know. Anyway, we'll be taking the feat we're building around right at level 1, Snapping Turtle Style. This is a style feat. Going into it is a swift action. It says, while using the Snapping Turtle Style feat, with at least 1 hand free, we'll have 1 hand free, you gain a +1 shield bonus to AC. Not that exciting, right? Could do better. And speaking of better, again, Stunning Pin, Pinning Knockout, Chokehold, Neckbreaker, all received in class in lieu of our monk feats, but not going to talk about them. It's not the plan here. Snapping Turtle Clutch is our feat at level 3. While you're using the Snapping Turtle style feat, this shield bonus also applies to your CMD and touch. Whenever an opponent misses you, though, with a melee attack while you're in the style, you can use an immediate action to try to grab them with a -2, and this is what we're building around. We want to be attacked. We want to start the clock a little faster. Maybe not necessarily coup de grace-ing faster, but pinning the opponent using a move action and a standard action. To say nothing of grappling them on their turn when they attack and then coup de grace-ing them on yours. I digress. More on that in a second. Snapping Turtle Shell is our next feat. While you are using Snapping Turtle Style, the shield bonus increases to 2, and your enemies take a -4 on critical confirmation rolls against you. Not super amazing, but we need a shield bonus. We need our AC to be high. We're expecting to be attacked. We're reactive. We're almost like the Swashbuckler. Except rather than doing damage, we're just trying to shut someone out immediately. So it becomes necessary for us to have as high of an AC as possible. That's why there's a couple of feats I wasn't expecting, like huge Trox. But those are coming way later. Greater Grapple is our bonus feat at 6th, meaning we in total get a +4 bonus on checks made to grapple. Once we've grappled a creature, maintaining that grapple is a move action, and this allows you to move and standard to make 2 grapple checks each round, while just making the 1 grappled check, which is a move action. And you guys know the drill. Get to Greater Grapple, especially if we started the grapple on the bad guy's turn, use a move action to maintain the grapple, get him to pin, and then get as fast as we can to our next standard action, Throat Slicer. When using a one-handed light or natural weapon, or, an unarmed strike being a monk, you can deliver a coup de grace to an unconscious, bound, or pinned target as a standard action. And again, that's the move. Get them to pinned as fast as possible, coup de grace them. We're big enough to be an okay Punisher. We can make attacks while maintaining a grapple, so it's not the worst idea in the world. Let the little hands hang on. Attack with our big hands. Really, it just seems so good. Again, it's Rapid Grappler that finishes this build out at level 9. When you use Greater Grapple to successfully maintain a grapple, you can then spend a swift action to make a grapple at a -5. Remember, after you've confirmed the first grapple, you have a +5. So it's swift action, take them to pinned, standard action, punch them in the dome, and watch their neck break. Still just the best thing ever. And everything else is just feeding in to what the build wants to do. Specifically, it's 2 feats at 11 and 13 that I'm kind of tired of seeing, I'm not gonna lie, but they're really good for us. Dodge and mobility. Dodge, of course, grants us a +1 dodge bonus to our AC, and if we lose our dex, we lose that. So don't lose your dex, kids. Mobility says you get a +4 dodge bonus, which stacks with the 1. Dodge bonuses stack to armor class against attacks of opportunity caused when you move out or within a threatened area. So that's 5 more versus an attack of opportunity, right? Imagine this. Our turn has started. Out of combat, we went, though technically you can't. I don't see any reason why you can't enter a style out of combat for the same reasons as, like, why can't I draw a weapon? While the villain is monologuing, you smite, use some evil. Then on your turn, charge. But don't charge up to him with your probably greater reach being a huge creature. No, charge a little past him. Charge through the bad guy's threat range in such a way that it provokes. You've got 4 more on that to your armor class than you would against normal attacks. It buys out the dex neg that you receive from being a huge creature just so well. And that's really important for us because, again, we are expecting attacks to come at us. We need to be attacked for this to function. So GMs, if you want to sideboard against this, it's not the worst idea to just not attack this guy. Smart opponents that see this guy grab things that attack him probably won't attack him, but that doesn't mean you, players, don't just go to your turn and get him garbled. Anyway, here's one that feels also bad. Weapon focus with an unarmed strike at level 15 for a +1 on attack rolls with unarmed strikes. Remember, CMBs are attack rolls. This is just basically +1 to CMB. Not bad. Combat reflexes at 17. Since we're a huge creature, and again, those 2 main hands under the premise of letting go of a weapon to punch and grab is a free action. Even then, you don't have to. The Trox has a tail. The Trox has mandibles. You can unarmed strike with any part of your body, and those little hands can maintain the grapple. So once you get your paladin levels, a magic fashard wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Or a magic whip, or a magic urumi, just something with reach to, again, serve the role of the Punisher in combat. If you don't know what that means, follow this card right up here. Be able to respond to stuff, keep stuff locked down. God forbid someone casts long arm on you and somebody provokes and you punch them and you grab them as well. Our last feat at level 19 is improved initiative, because really we have everything we need. Now it's just a matter of making sure we don't go dead last. Initiative sets the tone of combat. You always want to go first. And our next Legacy Pathfinder optimization video will be the highest initiative we can possibly make, but that's neither here nor there. Now, for our choice of weapons, again, you probably want some kind of 2-handed weapon, but when we're grappling, we want to have equipped a Dan Bong. The Dan Bong gives a +2 to grapple checks. Add 5 more with the Brawling enchantment, that's just +7 for holding a gigantic stick. Won't say anything about walking softly. Again, we're charging. Of course, you'll want your bracers of armor. We also want to put the Brawling enchantment, this is a different enchantment, on said bracers, because you get a +2 bonus on unarmed attack and damage rolls. And remember, kids, grappling is an attack. That's just another free +2. For the rest of your gear, of course, Ring of Protection, Amulet of Natural Armor, Belt for all 3 of your stats, Headband for everything but your int, books to increase all your stats. You guys know the drill. Honestly, I probably should make a video about the big 6 and why they are important, and just reference that when we get to this part of the video, because it's the same every time. The game expects you to have this kind of gear to be optimized. And one more item, our monk's robes. We want to make sure our unarmed strike is calculated as a full monk because we're dipping out. It's that simple. Anywho, let's crunch some numbers, shall we? Assuming we invest everything we can into our Trox, getting a permanent enlarged person to be huge forever, which may be a problem in some dungeons, but burrow under them or break the doors down. Also, confer with your GM. You're looking at a strength score of 44 all told, a modifier of 17. Since the Tetori is using the Tetori's monk level for CMB, and the 2 paladin levels are full BAB, we'll end up with 20 for our base attack bonus for the purpose of CMB. The +5 Brawling Dan Bong is +7, Charging will give us a +2, the Gauntlets of Twisting Vines, oh yeah, by the way, there's one more item you need to grab. Does it occupy the same slot as your bracers? Yeah, it does. But you can always use the magical tattoo rules to have the bracers and then equip these as well. To tap on 2 more, weapon focus is a +1. Starting with a charisma of 15, not unreasonable. Investing with Headband and Tome, we could land at 26 Charisma, a modifier of 8 for, Smiting Evil. Improved and Greater Grapple will give us +4. We have a +2 size bonus to CMB from being huge. Again, that could be a neg if we were a tiny Tetori, but God, I really wanted to. It just seems wasteful. The Brawling Bracers of Armor will give us a +2 bonus on our CMB as well. And the grab ability by using key points adds 4, so we're looking at a grand total of 69 to our CMB when we're charging and attacking or in Snapping Turtles style while charging 67. Now, of course, you guys know, we benchmark against Cthulhu. Cthulhu's got a crazy CMD of 97. On our best day, we're rolling an 89. So we just miss him. We miss Pazuzu as well at 92, again, just by that much. This is a CR30 monster we're talking about, and in that case, honestly, we're just beating them to death, which is also a valid strategy for this character. But roll it down just a little, the Demon Lord Kostitikai has a CMD of 86, which means we have to roll a 17 to grab him. That's what the witch is for, to fortune us to help us get there. And that's fine. The last boss of the game, as these guys usually are, probably will always be a little out of our reach, but most other things will not. It's scary. But what else is scary? Honestly, what's more scary is this damage. Again, with a modifier of 17 to our strength, a huge monk at level 20, grab your monk's robes, will land at 5d6, an average of 19. So tattoo on an Amulet of Mighty Fist or get someone to Greater Magic Fang you. For +5 onto that 19, +17 from our strength, +2, sometimes more, for Smiting Evil, and 2 more from that Brawling Armor means, on average, we're doing 45 damage. Or, on a critical hit, on average, 90. A coup de grace is DC, 10 plus damage dealt or die, so yeah. Said it before, I'll say it again. The DC to resist this build's Throat Slicer on average is 100. No one can pass that. If you can get your hands on somebody, who adds 90? No one adds 90. Things that are immune to sneak attacks obviously will be fine, but then we just start constricting, then we just start punching. We have feats that can do strength damage as well, but those seem to be kind of an exercise in jumping around too much, and it's just get to Throat Slicer, snap a neck, or we don't have Flurry of Blows. The Tetori trades that out, that's fine. Get yourself a big, fancy, enchanted Fashard or 18 to 20 weapon of your choice. Or, really, just be happy that you'll still have a bunch of attacks and go a-punchin'. And punch you probably will, because there's just nothing that stands up to that save. I've been very honestly surprised I was able to make a number that big. DC 100 Fortitude save or die. Yeah. That's terrifying. Use with caution, my friends. What do you guys think? Can we get to Grapple Cthulhu? Is there something else I didn't add on my Forced into Lawful Good? Assuming most GMs anyway. Well, I suppose I could dip Blood Rager in Rage, couldn't I? Ah well. It's, again, amazingly powerful. Let me know what you think in the comments. And hey, for all you playtest fans who've been patient, your time is nigh. The next episode of Min-Maxing for Fun and Profit, pending patron line cutting, will optimize the rogue archetyped into monk in the Pathfinder playtest because monks are just so powerful, as we've clearly seen. See you then, guys.